She just likes to make fun of me at every turn. At the podcast awards, they're like, "Can you do a sound check?" And I was like, "Hi, I'm Whittney Cummings." She's like,
The podcast awards?
the Ambies, which by the way had sound issues the whole time. Margaret. I have Margaret. Let me know when. Yeah, see, I like to micromanage this because I have a set of skills that are no longer needed by anyone.
Right.
Which is directing, creating television shows, making movies.
Yeah.
I know market. No one even says that anymore.
Right, well, you did The Godfather, right?
Right.
Making movies.
I played the dead horse in the bed.
Yeah.
That was my horse. And I know how to do all these things that nobody respects anymore. And it's like I'm
Well, you've turned this podcast into like an episode of Frasier. Like you've turned it like the slating and the like, let's start.
But why?
It takes all the fun and spontaneity out of it and it makes it into something it's not. But it's interesting. Well, this is not that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim has decided that I am profoundly, eternally wrong on pretty much everything.
Not profoundly.
Okay. But eternally.
I've never said you were profoundly anything.
You have, the last time you were on the Good For You podcast, you spent 2 hours eviscerating me for being irrelevant and what still makes me laugh, an old goat that knows nothing about the hot new kids. Everyone that you bragged about is either on trial. Who was it? Oh yeah, the TikTok. It wasn't David Dobrik that you were into at the time.
No, I was saying that you were disconnected from what was going on.
Thank God.
And you were talking about me being a judge on The Masked Dancer. I believe you were saying that the career goals that I should have involved being a judge on The Masked Dancer. And I was saying, no, I don't want to do that. And you were aghast at the idea that someone would maybe want to skip that part of this business.
Let me ask you a question. What would be more hilarious than you as a judge on The Masked Dancer?
Fun banter with a hostess at a restaurant.
But
literally anything else.
But you get to do it all. Like, that's my thing, is like, take the money.
But here's the thing. You don't get to do it all. This is the fallacy.
Okay.
You do not get to do it all. Who is doing it all?
That's a great question.
That's what I want to know.
That's a great, who we still respect.
Sure. Nobody's doing it all.
Tiffany Haddish kind of does it all.
Where's her podcast?
I know. Well, that's a good question.
But I mean, I'm not saying she needs one.
Yeah.
She doesn't need one.
Yes. You got to pick.
She doesn't need it.
Do two things well.
Right.
And a third thing every now and then for a money grab. My thing is more, don't cut off your opportunity for the fun money grabs. If someone comes to you and is like, hey, for $500,000, you want to do 4 episodes of The Masked Dancer all in one day, just do it.
The reason why this is a false choice is because I am not being asked to. I'm not being asked to judge a Masked Dancer,
right?
Because I would, when I got to set.
And by the way, I never said you should do that. I had just done it.
You did, and people can watch it and make their own decisions.
You know, I was on drugs that entire time.
If I was judging The Masked Dancer, I would stop in the middle of it and go, "Why are we here? Why are we doing this? What is wrong? What is so deeply wrong with all of us?" That is why they don't ask me to do it.
Mass dance. I mean, look, there is something to be said for mass distraction and visual anesthesia.
And we had it for a while, and it was great art, right? Or great shows, right? We had amazing television. We still do have some really great shows. We had great movies. That's mass distraction. I don't know why mass distraction has to be somebody dressed up like a tiger dancing on television and then you quizzing them about what reality show they could have been on and trying to figure out their identity.
Here's what I'll say. It is for...
Because that makes me go, I'm not distracted anymore. I want to join a militia. Instead of, oh, this was a good episode of ER, I go, this is dumb. They're bombing every country in the world. They're taking all of our money, and they're not even giving us. My friend Nick Mullen would always say, like, just give us good movies.
Yeah.
If you're gonna let Epstein and Ghislaine run the whole, can you give us fucking Tommy Boy?
We're gonna get back to that in a second, but who would be higher on the list than me to play Ghislaine Maxwell in a miniseries? Name one person who'd be better at it than me.
A better actress,
or just a better pick.
I don't know.
Maybe like of course Julianne Moore.
Can you do a British accent? Can you do it?
Of course.
Can you do a British accent? Because it's proper. It's not. So you have to understand. You're just being a little naughty, weren't you? Weren't you being a little naughty?
Oh, Jeffrey.
Bill and Hillary were being a little naughty, and it's just kind of a soft.
Billy.
It's a soft, regal kind of British accent. It's not that punchy.
Excuse me. Hold for the boat. We forgot to contextualize that we are on Lake Austin, and there are frats on boats behind us.
It's a softer British
partying.
accent. It's not like a Cockney accent where you're imagining it, which is we got all these kids, we fuck in the house, love. No, that's not it.
They would have gotten busted way sooner if that was her accent.
Exactly. Well, it's like Bill and Hillary Clinton, right? So you're like, oh, he's with this strong woman who's like a real, she's not a homemaker. She's out there. She's got a career.
Yep.
And he can handle that.
Yep.
And isn't that great? And how modern and how progressive and everything and all the articles in the 90s.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
He wants to date an equal. That's what we say. He wants an equal.
And in the 90s, that was the rationale, or that was the whole, the kind of the inertia that moved their campaign forward, was that it was the inevitability of the progressive modern change. This is a strong woman.
Yeah.
But what it really was partners.
He could be with some thought, and he's
power.
not.
What was great is recently there was a quote from the Gail Sheehy biography of Hillary, where after Lewinsky, she didn't talk to him for a matter of months, and then only started talking to him again when she called him and told him to bomb Syria. So that's a real marriage.
So I am fascinated with those old school relationships where it's like, we're a business. And
Yes.
I know a lot of these couples in Hollywood, and the whole thing is, do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't want to fuck you. You don't want to fuck me.
Right.
We don't have a prenup. Just don't embarrass me. That's the deal.
That's the relationship I'm in with Robert Pattinson right now. It's who wanted to Zoom. He wanted to do a Zoom with me and then backed out of it.
What?
My agent goes, Robert Pattinson wants to do a Zoom with you, and then I was like, okay, sure. And then I emailed back, and she was like, oh, we'll figure it out, LOL. But then nothing.
Nothing. So. What do you think? Here's the problem with.
I think it was just, hey, I like your show.
You're in the place where people just want to talk to you.
Yeah,
and you're
maybe.
like, okay, I'm not going on weird dates. Like, I say money and the project up front before I get on the phone with you and waste so much of my time.
I would waste time listening to what he had to say. Why not?
I bet he could help me with my English accent.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, perhaps. But those, like the Obamas slept in separate beds, and the Clintons were like, when you get to that level of work that has to be done every day, you can't have a relationship like my aunt and my uncle
This is a business. You are both. I used to work on I was doing a joke for a while before, when Hillary was running. This was before Force, so this must have been 12 years ago. I was in Napa, which is a super conservative part of the country. I didn't really know that. And I went on stage and I said something about like, oh my God, we could have a female president. It's still, the chances of her winning at that time were incredibly slight. This is the first time she ran. And I was doing jokes about having a female president. And there were a lot of like kind of unoriginal jokes going around, like when she's on her period, watch out, she's gonna start a war. Like people like had already done shit about female president stuff. But I was trying to do one that was like, the first female president, if we have the first female president, we're gonna have to like put in a contract that she's not sucking her husband's like he has to get sex workers during the time she's president, because like no world leader can know she's sucking dick. Like that's the least regal act you can do. Like just everyone needs to know, so that they're not sitting in meetings being like, did she have her head in someone's fucking lap last night? Just to let everyone know she's not fucking for that 4 years. It has to be part of it, because it's just too degrading. You can't respect. And I was in Napa doing a joke in that area, and someone yelled at me, know your demographic. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
And then like it's the only time I've ever done stand-up where a fight broke out in the audience and I couldn't see what was going on. Like people were like, I just saw like rustling and people, I didn't realize how sort of conservative that area was.
I agree with the person who yelled that.
But
because it's a wine, it's people are trying to get wine drunk in Napa, and they don't need you showing up and telling them about Little Miss President.
But it wasn't a charged political joke. It was like I was also
people are
I was talking about Ross Perot. I was talking,
yes.
and I was like, I am just not going to do political
You're dating
material.
yourself now a little bit. You're like, I was doing my Truman bit. And then I broke into What If We Had a Lady in there, and I got, I was doing my old.
I was not doing a Ross Perot bit, but I did.
Thomas Jefferson chunk. And then I forget you've been in the business literally since the dawn of time. People forget this about you. This isn't dye. This is her natural hair. She's been in the business so long that she can throw out that she was doing Ross Perot material.
I never was. I swear.
Crazy.